These are the 3 best attack strategies you need to use at Town Hall 12 for 3 stars. Welcome back to Blueprint, my name's Corrupt. Let's start with our first army, the Queen Charge Hybrid, a simple strategy that is very flexible here at Town Hall 12. You'll basically want to start with the Queen Charge to go into luring out the enemy clan castle and removing value and creating a funnel. Specifically, I would always recommend luring out the clan castle and removing the town hall. This is really nice and gets you a solid funnel. On the other side, you want to use stuff such as the Siege Barrack, the Barbarian King, and of course, something like a Yeti or Baby Dragon in order to help funnel out the other side. This is going to give you enough of a push to move the hybrid from in between your 2 funnels into either an I or L shape in pathing. Always trying to prioritize the Eagle Artillery as one of the major things you want to remove as you move across the base. So when you are starting this attack, I'd heavily recommend trying to funnel. I'd recommend Sneaky Goblins if there are some resource collectors. I'd recommend a Baby Dragon if there are some other defenses that are away from air defenses. But also if there is, something such as a mortar or any sort of ground targeting defense, use a balloon or 2. It should help you in terms of helping your queen go in the right direction. As you're moving into the base, I'd heavily recommend bringing a super wall breaker in order to get deeper into the base. You can bring multiple if you want, but you also should be using a rage spell, especially if you're going into a lot of heavy fire right by the town hall. It is incredibly important that you try to keep this queen alive for as long as possible. I would also recommend using another rage spell as you move in towards the enemy clan castle to deal with it. So while that's going on, and once you've gotten a solid amount of funneling done, start to use your Barbarian King and Siege Barrack on the other side. This is going to basically create a really solid funnel for you to where you can then send the hybrid straight in. This is really important because you'll want to make sure that you have very solid funneling as you work yourself up. You need to get to the Eagle Artillery. This is by far the most important defense to remove. So as you're moving in, you should use a heal early on. After that, use the Grand Warden ability. This is going to help your miners and hog riders stay alive. Your back-end heal spell should be used around where you can get closer to the Eagle Artillery and keep a large portion of your miners and hog riders alive. This should allow you to remove the Eagle Artillery quite consistently, alongside just moving your way through. Creating an L shape or an I shape in pathing is going to help you in terms of getting the most value. Sometimes if your Archer Queen dies or if the healers are really close to the miners, they can actually heal up your main push going through. This can be a huge buff, especially if you don't have any more heal spells. And this can really work really well on a lot of bases. Really trying to take advantage of as much of the base as you can from the funneling allows your hybrid to have very simple pathing, and as long as you know how to use the Warden ability and of course the heal spells, it should be a piece of cake for you. Now for our second army, we have the Zap Dragons, and this works really well on a plethora of different bases. All you're really doing is using your lightning spells to remove 3 to 4 air defenses, and then of course using your heroes to create a little bit of a funnel, and then have your dragons move the way through. A smart tip is to have an E-Drag on the other side in order to help create the funnel due to some really nice chain value that the Electro Dragon can get. So with this attack strategy, you mainly want to start with the Zap Quake. This can be done in order to remove 2 air defenses with 2 lightning and 1 earthquake, and then removing another 2 with 2 lightning on each, and then 1 earthquake spell. This can get you some really huge value, but all you really want to think about is going for 3 to 4 of the air defenses. Then you've got your heroes, and all you're really going to do with them is just create a small funnel on one side. On the other side, you're going to use an Electro Dragon or something else to create a little bit of a funnel. Baby Dragon or a Dragon can be used in place of the E-Drag, but you'll then want to send in your dragons, your balloons, your warden, and your Stone Slammer or your Siege of choice. I recommend the Stone Slammer being sent in with everything. You could send it in more offset and funnel even more for your dragons, but I preferably prefer sending it in as it provides a lot of value as it tanks. Otherwise, you should use an early rage spell as you push in, an early Grand Warren ability, and make sure that you're able to use your free spells to deal with stuff such as the Town Hall, any big name defenses such as the Town Hall, Infernos, Expos. Those are the type of things that you'll need to deal with. Of course, dealing with the enemy clan castle, but once you've really gone through the Town Hall and stuff, you can easily dominate any type of base with this strategy. It is insanely strong and really good and simple. And of course, for our third army, we have the Zap Witches. This is a really strong strategy that can be used on almost any base, but preferably you are using the Zap Quake on 2 multi-target Infernos opposite sides of each other and using them around the Inferno to get rid of other structures. You'll basically just then want to line up your log launcher for the Eagle, the 3rd Inferno, and the Town Hall, and really the rest of the base is yours for the picking. So like I said, this attack is really simple. You're going to use your lightning spells, 4 lightning, 1 earthquake on each multi-target Inferno. Try to use them around the structure to get rid of more structures. This can actually help in terms of getting much more value. But then you want to send in your golems, your ice golem, your witches, your log launcher, and your heroes. Remember to line up the log launcher to open up the walls that correspond to the Eagle, 3rd Inferno, and the Town Hall. Any damage that you can get on those structures is really nice. Just be very careful of expos that might lock onto your log launcher or really any defenses for that matter. You'll want to use a Grand Warden ability as early as you can to prevent the death of your log launcher and it not getting as far into the base. All you really want to do after that is just allow a lot of your troops to move in. Having the heroes in the core is incredibly important and something that I would oftentimes recommend. Otherwise, you've got a rage spell that you can use for the Town Hall on the back end. Since you're usually going in away from the Town Hall, a rage is really nice, though you can bring in other spells like more freeze and a poison if you really want to do so. Otherwise, the strategy here, realistically, it comes down to all the troops that are left up. Usually, the witches should be more than enough. You should have heroes still up, and you should still have your clan castle up, especially if your log launcher did survive for a decent chunk. This should really allow you to get a super simple 3-star that witches are just so dominant at Town Hall 12, there really isn't something else worth using other than this strategy. That is all the attacks for Town Hall 12. Make sure you subscribe and come back for more as we cover Town Hall 13 here on Blueprint.